All right, guys, you want to be a production builder. Well, if you want to be a production builder, let's get into it. All right, guys, this is Emmett again, the Alpha Builder. And I'm sitting here trying to fix something right quick. Let me see if I can fix it. And there we go. All right, guys. I was just sitting down thinking about this right here because, right now, guys, I'm probably more of a custom builder slash spec builder. So a custom builder, we kind of build from time to time. We go find a couple of lots, and we take those lots and we build on those lots and we sell them for a profit. Well, I'm starting to realize that model as a custom builder, a custom builder, someone wants to build a house, they find you, and once they find you, you bid that house, or they bring a set of plans to you. You may, sometimes you can design, bid, and build, but in most cases, they bring you a set of plans and you quote it for them. And then once you quote it, they decide whether or not they're going to go with you as a builder. But in order for them to really understand or trust that you know what you're doing as a builder, in most cases, you're going to have some jobs that you're working on, or you have to have some kind of model that you can show those people so that they can understand that you're competent and you're savvy in your discipline. So if you're a custom builder, in most cases, you need to have a spec home, which a spec home is a home that you're just building, and you go get the loan. You as the builder, or you're an individual builder, you go get a loan from the bank. You build that project, or you build that house, and then once you build that house, you put it on the market, and then someone comes in and they buy the house. But the spec, typically when you have a spec going on, you just got to keep it going so people can actually see your work. Or you can kind of do what I did. I built my personal house as a model home. And then if people need to, they want to see my work, they can come to my personal house and I can show them. Not only that, guys, I can kind of give them an idea of the specifications that they're going to get in their house based on my house. So that's your spec game or your custom game. Now, a production builder, just think about a production builder being a builder that's a spec builder on steroids. They building several houses at the same time, several houses. I mean, they may be building 20 or 30 houses at a time, and they have a certain market with those houses. These are typically not your high-end homes. They're, more of your kind of middle to lower end homes because, they're doing it in production. They mass producing them. And not necessarily cookie style. A lot of people think that a lot of these production builders are cookie cutters, and they're not, man. I'm starting to see, in our area, we have some really good, we have a few good production guys, i.e. Signature Homes and Harris Doyle. Those guys do really good. They do really good production style houses. Now, you can still build a custom house with those guys too, but they kind of mainly focus on, they go out and they develop the entire neighborhood and they build all the houses in that neighborhood as well. So I've been thinking about that because what I'm realizing, guys, is that this custom game, being a strictly custom builder, I think that game is at the verge of non-existing probably in the future. Now, you will have one or two guys that are the big guys that's building you $1 million, $2 million homes, but in most cases, I just think that the custom builder is that model is unsustainable. So I think most custom builders now, they need to start thinking more of production. Because guys, when I first got into this game, 20 plus years ago, you had developers. You had people out here, that's all they did. They developed land for builders. They may have, that developer had a team of builders that they trusted, and they would go out and they would develop the land, and they would develop the lots, get the streets and everything in, and then you had maybe 3 or 4 builders that would come in there, and they would do a lot draw, and they would buy, this builder buy 10 lots, this builder buy this many lots, this other builder, however it is, and then they'll build spec homes or custom homes on their particular lots that they bought, or they'll do a lot draw, however they do it. Those days are gone. Those days are gone because the bigger builders, the production guys today are the developers. They develop their own stuff. Typically the way it works, guys, the developer back in the day would develop those lots, and he would sell each of those lots to the builders for a profit. So he'd get his money on that side. But now you got the bigger companies, like the D.R. Hortons, et cetera. They're just, if we have developers in town, those guys just come in and just buy everything up. They buy, they'll find a developer and they just buy all the lots from them because they have the money to do so. So I've been entertaining, I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about, hey man, if I'm gonna stay alive, or if the smaller builders like us are gonna stay alive, or the custom builders are gonna stay alive, we have to just become production builders. This is the game that we're going to have to get into. So these are a couple of things that I may ramble a little bit, guys, but these are some of the things that I think that's needed and necessary in order to, create a production building company. So really what's going to have to happen, guys, and this is my opinion. I think a few of the smaller builders are just going to have to merge up. They're going to team up, man. Doing this stuff like back in the day, one builder, you can make a really good life off of this right here, and you can be a second and third generation. Your sons can take the business and they can keep going, and you can build like that. I think that's unsustainable now. I think that model it's not going to work. That's just my opinion. So here's what I think needs to happen. And guys, I think I got this in order, but these are some of the things. I think the first thing that you're gonna need, and guys, you're gonna have teams and all of these right here. The first thing you're gonna need is money. You got to have the capital, guys. You got to have the money. And guys, I don't know if this is gonna come from an investor. Guys, if you found the right people, and I'm not talking about this hard money lending stuff, guys. I'm talking about someone that has a whole lot of money that's willing to go in business with a builder, or someone who knows how, maybe even a developer. You need to, guys, I think you need to, just say, for instance, if it's me, I need to go find someone who just got almost limitless money that they're willing to use that money and invest in my ideas and my views on building a business model to make money. And it doesn't need to be like the banks, because the banks, you got to pay interest every month. That becomes very difficult at times, guys, dealing with the interest, dealing with the banks. You just really need to find someone who has the money that they can wait on their money until you start getting houses sold, or someone who owns a lot of land, and we can use the land as collateral. So I think the biggest thing, one of the main things you're going to need is an investor. You're going to need someone, not just an investor, you're going to need some money. You're going to need a heck of a lot of money to get this thing going, because these are the things that's going to happen. That money is going to be used to develop. So I think in today's market, if you're going to be a production builder, guys, you got to be able to develop too, because most of your costs or most of your savings you're going to get it because you develop it. You develop that property. So you need to be able to develop. You need to have someone who understands developing. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, especially these municipalities. You got to know how to go inside of these municipalities and engage with the planning commission, the board of zoning adjustments, the mayors, the fire department. All of these guys need to be involved. The school systems. In most cases, when a developer, he's gonna, when I was in Alabaster as the building official, guys, we used to meet once a month, and we would meet with developers. Sometimes they'd call a team meeting. We'd meet with developers. We'd go over, and everybody be there. Fire department, police chief, school board. We had everybody there because they had input on, number one, you actually growing these municipalities, and you're creating another tax base. So then the fire department, the first responders and those guys, police chief, all those guys are going to have to be dispatched to that new location. So they had to have an idea. There has to be regulation, like in the fire trucks. How can we get in and out of that subdivision, or et cetera? So you got to have someone who's very savvy in developing. Not just the engineer. A lot of people think you just go get an engineer. Now the engineer's coming. But you need to have someone who knows who understands the planning commission. When I say the planning commission, and I'm really thinking more so on the planner. They need to be able to meet with the planner of those cities, and they need to figure this stuff out. In some cases, you may have to get areas rezoned. So you got to know how to navigate through that process. And these processes, man, take several months, sometimes 6 months, just to get one answer. So you got to have somebody who's very savvy in that. And then I would say the next people would be your design team, mainly probably your engineer. So one of the main people that you're going to deal with is your civil engineer. And that civil engineer is going to, he's going to drop the whole subdivision. He's going to, cut those lots up. He's going to get them surveyed, cut the lots up. Sometimes they may even deal with the impact, the sewer. You may have to connect to the sewer, which is a whole nother ball game. Or sometimes, like in a neighborhood like I'm living in, you may have to have the lots on septic. So you got to have that engineer to come out there and, take samples of all the different lots to make sure that they perk. And if they don't perk, how are we going to get rid of the waste on that particular lot? So you got to have an engineer, a civil engineer preferably, that can go out there and that can do a topo map, and kind of lay out the streets and get everything figured out so that you can present to that, to the developing team. So you got to have that. You got to have that, and those guys are not cheap guys. Those guys are not cheap because they deal with commercial. This is where the kind of overlap with commercial and residential kind of happens right here, and commercial, they're going to be much higher on cost than residential. Anybody that deal with commercial, they don't understand. They can't. Most people who like civil engineers, it's hard for them to jump from residential to commercial. They just stick with commercial, and then they'll do occasionally residential stuff like that. So cost is going to be there. There's going to be a lot of cost involved. Then I would think that the next thing that you would need is a plan designer. So you get your lots and all that stuff figured out. You need to have that plan designer or some good plans that you got somebody drawing plan. Because, guys, there's a lot of things that goes on those plans to make it to where you can be profitable when you build those houses. The way the roof layout is, whether you can use trusses on those roofs, what kind of spans you have. You can span from one side of the house to the other, and everything else on the inside of the house is non-load bearing walls. That makes it really easier, make it almost foolproof for your framers. So that's another thing you want to. So that plan designer, guys, that plan designer has got to be on point. whoever's drawing up your plans for each one of the houses. And then you got to make the houses look a little different. You don't want a cookie cutter look. So you got to have that too. But that plan designer, at the end of the day, if they can design some very efficient homes on both sides, for the customer and the bill, this is where you want to be. This is what you want to get. So I think that plan designer is going to be the next person that you're going to need. The next person, in my opinion, is going to be, you got to have a awesome marketing team. You may have to either, most of the time, the best way to have it is if you're the builder, if you're the production builder, is to have your own in-house marketing team. The only thing they focus on is your stuff. The only thing they pushing is your stuff. At the end of the day, this all about you as the builder. Because if you got a marketing team, guys, I've dealt with this before, when you got a marketing team that's, got several other builders they work for and stuff like that. I've had people to take people out of my house and take them to other builders' houses and developer houses. It's a mess when you're doing that kind of stuff, guys. But I think that marketing team needs to be in-house. They need to be your people. You need to be the broker, or however you're going to do it. If you're a builder and you go out and get your real estate broker, and guys, that real estate test it's not, guys, I don't think that test is hard at all. I haven't even taken the test, man, but I guarantee you I can go take that real estate exam right now and not even look at a real estate book and pass. But that's just me, because I've been around this stuff a whole lot. So I'm not saying everybody can do it, but I don't think it'll be hard for me. But I think that builder needs to have his own in-house marketing team and real estate agents. That way he can control the percents. He can control that. You got to be able to control all that. So that's the next person. Then you get your marketing together. I think you need to have I think the next people to have, and notice I hadn't said anything about this until now. This is when you need to have your builders. So we'll do all those people, and guys, and we're talking about building homes, and the builders come all the way down the list, probably third from the top. Now you need a good builder. You need someone who understands construction, understands code compliance, understands the process of building, knows how to deal with inspectors and engage with those guys, can get. That builder has got to be able to get that structure built on time, in budget, and according to code. They got to have that, in time, in budget, on time, in budget, and build it code compliant. You got to be able to do that, guys. And make sure the quality is there as well, guys. You got to have a builder that can do that, or you got to have a builder team. You don't just need just one. Maybe just need one builder to make sure that the company has this. You need to have one designated qualifying representative to be the builder for that company, but that builder needs to be he needs to be top tier. I know a guy that's over at Signature Homes. His name is John Lowry, man, and I don't think he's probably one of the best builders I've met. He's helped me out in the past, back when I first got started. He helped me learn this game of building, but you got to have that guy, a gal. It could be a guy or a gal, don't matter, man, but somebody's very savvy. Let me just say this right here. Shout out to Mendez. She was one of my first female students to get her home builder's license. But anyway, guys, you got to have a good, savvy builder that that understands this game, understands how to build, man. And you got to be able to keep that thing in budget, get it done on time, know how to engage with those subcontractors, make sure those subcontractors are building that stuff and doing it code compliant, guys, which is critical because the code means that it's built to be safe. Then the next person I would have on my lineup would be a decorator or a decorating team. That when you build those houses and they get finished decorating them, you just got to buy them. It'll make you want to buy them. You walk through the house, there's pop everywhere in the house. Everywhere you go, oh man, this is nice. Oh man, this is nice. That's what you're going to have. You got to have that decorator. I got a pretty good decorator on my jobs, man. She does really good. Jennifer does a good job. Especially if you have a big budget, man, they can really make it look good, man. But and that's where there's a line, there's a fine line there, guys. You can't build something and you just let the decorator go no holds bars and get you out of budget on those houses. Because at the end of the day, guys, the whole purpose of this right here is to create a profit. And if you can't create a profit, nothing else means anything. So the decorator is going to be the one, along with the real estate agent, it's going to help you get them things sold. Because guys, at the end of the day, if you're not selling houses, if you're just building because you like to build and stuff like that, you're not going to make it, guys. You got to be able to sell the product. The name of the game is selling them. So without sales, you got nothing. Then I think while you're building, these are some of the things that you're going to need, guys. You got to have, as you building houses, guys, one thing that you need to have is you got to have some type of software, guys. And let me just put this up here. Geez, I knew this would happen. It would just go away here. Let me see if I can find it again. There we go. You got to have software. And behind me, I got a software. It's called Octane. But it's not Octane OS. I think it's Octane PM. I got to change that, guys. I'm sorry. But maybe I can put my head in the way of the OS. It's Octane PM. But guys, you got to have, as a builder, guys, you got to have a way to be organized. And I think in today's market, the only way you can be organized is to have software that's helping you stay organized, tracking your invoices, tracking your payments, helping you with your estimating. This is where a lot of these not production builders, but this is where a lot of the custom builders fail. They lose on the front end, and the front end is the estimation. If you don't estimate that house right, you're not going to make a dime. That's where your profit comes. Your money is made in custom building on your estimate. If you estimate it right, you can make a profit. You can. If you don't estimate it right, you're going to always be playing catch up, and you're going to be in trouble. And then and once you get in trouble, you're going to be in trouble with those homeowners too. You're going to really have a big problem with them. So you got to have something to help you track things and keep up with things. The next thing you're going to need, I think it's like the last thing I got. Guys, you have to have an awesome warranty team. Somebody, now I'm not talking about cosmetic items, guys. Somebody that can come in and handle all of the latent defects, things that go wrong with your structure, with the houses. But you got to, guys, if you got a warranty problem, man, you got to jump on it. You got to jump on it. That's why I tell even my subcontractors, man, I can't control a lot of them. See, and here's the thing, guys. If you build enough houses with your subs, you can kind of control them a little bit more. So if you got a warranty item that needs to be handled, they go back and handle that because you're pretty much paying them for everything. You got them on lock. But your warranty is critical, man. If you don't handle your warranties, people out here bad mouthing your company. People are not gonna want to buy a house from you. They're gonna see they don't cover warranty. People don't go online and start putting stuff on the internet about you and things like that. It becomes very hard. I had that situation that happened to me, guys. Where, me and one of the homeowners didn't see eye to eye. and they posted some stuff on the internet. This was years ago, man. And guys, to get this stuff off the internet, man, is an exercise in futility. Even when I fixed everything, I fixed it, man. And I didn't know no better back then, man. But everything was okay. Customer was satisfied. I went back, made sure everything was good. Still couldn't get it off the internet. And your name pop up every time something come up. Hey, what about this right here? And guys, you're not going to make all your customers happy, man. I mean, I don't even strive to make customers happy because I can't control your happiness. That's something that you have to control within yourself as a person. Let's see this right here. That's something that we control ourselves. There we go. That's something that we control ourselves. Is we control our own happiness. But the only thing I can do is build it in time, within budget, and code compliant, and according to the building, the NAHB building guidelines. That's the best I can do, guys. And that should make that customer happy. If they're not happy, I mean, you just can't make people happy, man. So those are my guys, man. Let me just see. You got to have your money. You got to be able to develop. You got to have a developing person. You got to have your civil engineer. You're going to need your marketing team. Probably need to have that in-house. I think most of these things, almost with the exception of the civil engineer, I think everybody else needs to be in-house. You got to have your marketing team, your decorators. Then you got to have your builders, good building team. If somebody's at the top, if you the builder, you can be the builder, and you just have a couple of superintendents or project managers that you kind of make sure they do everything according to how you like things to be done. You got to have software. You got to be able to track things, and then you got to have a good warranty team. So guys, we get this, and I think that at the end of the day, we can become production builders. Because if we keep going the way we are, we're going to wake up and be extinct as custom builders. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe, and appreciate you guys for stopping in. You guys have a good one.